Hello guys, welcome back, and in this video we are going to look on how to render components. So far we have looked on how to install LiveWire, how to create components, and so far we have not done anything that is tangible or even see how to interact with components. And so without further ado, let us see how we can be able to render components and maybe play around with it and see what we can be able to achieve. So what I'm going to do is that currently when I go back to my project here, I have a bunch of components here in LiveWire. So I'm going to delete these because they really don't matter. They're just for the test cases. So I'm going to delete those folders and file, and I'm also going to go inside LiveWire in the view section. I'm going to delete this guy also. I'm going to highlight this, and delete this. So now we remain only with a welcome view and the LiveWire, the LiveWire folder. So I'm going to create a new folder, and in this case I just like to work with something more interactive. Let us say we are going to create a to-do list. All right, we'll create this from the scratch to ground up. So the first thing that of course we need, as you have seen, is we need a component for to do. Yeah, a component for the to-do list. All right, and the first one that I'm going to do is that I'm going just to create a simple component and maybe say list to do. So what I'm going to say, if you can remember PHP artisan make LiveWire, and then the name of the component will be create to do. So if you can remember this, will create the camel case with the name create to do. Then I need a file inside known as create. Actually, let us just say it like this. Let us just create a folder to do with a file inside which is create to do. All right, like that. So this has created the two folders. Now if we go inside LiveWire, in the view we have to do with the create to do file, and then if we go inside LiveWire class, we have to do with the to do create to do class. So what I'm going to do currently, I'm not going to do anything fancy here. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to call this LiveWire property inside the welcome inside the welcome view. So in the welcome view, we don't have anything here. And to call a LiveWire component, we simply initialize LiveWire by saying LiveWire like this. Then we use a full colon, and then the name of the folder in this case is to do like this, dot the name of the file, which is create dash to do, like so, and then you close that tag like that. So this will is just like the include. It will include the LiveWire component inside the welcome view. So now inside the to do, I can say, let us just start here by saying, let's maybe say something like let us have an h1 here and say, what am I doing? Let us have an h1 here and say this is a to-do list. All right, this is a to-do list. And then let me just save this. Let me go to the browser and do a refresh. So if we do a refresh here, if I do a refresh here, of course now we have the to-do list which is centered here. So this is not much, it's not much use. What I'm going to do is that inside the create to do, or rather inside this guy here, I'm going to, this is something that I've just thought now. Let me just install Bootstrap. I'm going to say Bootstrap. Then I'm going inside the Bootstrap documentation here. All right, let's go to, this is 5.3, that is okay. Let's go to the docs. Okay, introduction. Going to scroll down where you're told install bootstrap CSS JS, create a new file. So I'm just going to copy. I'm going to copy this. Going to inside my code, inside the welcome blade. I'm going on top here inside the head. Going to add bootstrap there so that we can use bootstrap and go back inside the body. I'm going to copy the script and go inside my code. I'll go down to the script. I'll add the script there. So now we have bootstrap. All right, CDN. We have the bootstrap CDN. So that is it. That is only what we need. And then I'm going to use, let me see what we can use here. I'm going to use, let's go and use, where is the search? Let's use a group item. Say group list. List group. Why is this not popping? List. Basic list. I'll scroll down. Yeah, I'm going to use this list group here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going back to my code. I'll go now inside our create to do guy here. I'll paste this list guy here. Nothing fancy. For now, this will say the first maybe the first guy on this to-do list will be maybe workout. All right. So like that. The second one maybe will be reading. So we'll populate this thing dynamically from the database, but this is just from the start. So I just want you to see, and then we'll say maybe coding. And lastly, we can say maybe eating. All right. Like this, we remove this, the first one with IL active. Let's go back to the browser and see what it will give us now. Guy here, I'll do a refresh. So of course, when I do a refresh, we have this here. It doesn't look really good, that pretty. And that is because maybe we can do some bit of editing here. If I go back to, let's see, to the welcome page, just close this. If I go here, max with what I can do, let me see. What we can do is that we can remove these classes here and say this should be class maybe container. Let's say container for now. Inside we can have another div, and this can be class row like that. And then we can move our guy inside here. Then if I go back to the create guy here, I can just pass a class here. Just say call, let's say for now 8. All right. Plus, I want this to take 8 columns. Then maybe something else we can do here is on the row, you can say justify content center. Then let's go back. Let's do a refresh and see now how it will look. So now we have something like this. It looks much better, but the background, all right. I think for now the background, by this background. Okay, for now let us just work with it because we're focusing on LiveWire. We'll do the styling later. So what I'm going to do here, just to show you that Livewire works, I'm going to initialize a property here. This we are going to do in the next lesson, but for now I just want to show you that Livewire works. I'll just say public, and then I just say maybe task is equals to running. Maybe I'll just initialize. So once you initialize a public property on the Livewire class, you can access this property direct on the Livewire components on the view side. So here I can just have maybe a paragraph here, and I can say this is of course task, and then maybe I can say this is an extra task from Livewire. So now if I go to the browser here and do a refresh, as you can see now we can be able to access Livewire here, which is right here running. So the next thing I want to show you is that how you can render full page components. Currently what you are doing, you are rendering, this is like an inline component. So let us say you want to create a full page component. So I'm going to create a full page component. All right. By a full page component, I mean a component which you can call using the routes, all right? And you will not call it inside another Laravel blade file. So I'm just going to create, in this case, I'll call this, let us make this to be, maybe to be the edit guy. So I'm going to say edit guy like this, all right? Edit to do. Of course, this will create two files inside, one inside the to do here and another inside the view. So to make a full page component, what you need to do is that you need to go inside the to do, and now you need to tell Livewire if which file this page or this class of Livewire will extend. In our case here, I'll say that I want this guy to extend, to extend our guy who is welcome, all right? Welcome. So that is the welcome blade. And now what I'm going to do inside the blade here, I'm going to just use what we call the slots. So the slots is like the yield, if you have used Laravel, of course, you know the yield. So the content that I'll pass in the component, when I extend it, it will replace this slot guy here. All right, like this. So now inside this guy here, when I say extends, that is enough. And now even now a guy create, now what you need to do, you need to say that it will extends, and will extend welcome like this. And now if I go to, let us go to our web file here, where we have defined the routes. So I can comfortably define a route here. Let us say maybe it's a get route, and I can say maybe the name of this route will be create task. And of course, this will call now the create task, the create to do, the create to do class here. So I like importing them like this. So I can do this import, all right? Then I can just duplicate this and say now we'll have also the edit, which will go to edit to do like this. So we have this. Let me import this first here, move this, import this, and then inside the blade for the edit, I'll just put an h1 for now and say this is for editing to do, something of that sort. So now I expect when I go now to the it should be slash create task and edit task, it should redirect me to different, to different views. So now let us try this and see. I'll go to create task like that. So now when I go to create task, I get this error and define variable slots. For now, what we can simply do, we can just use the normal yield. You can say at yield, and the guy that I'll pass here is content. The normal Laravel. I'll go to do here. I'll say I'll extend that file, and I want to use the section which is known as content. All right. The same on create to do here. I'll do like this. I'll say I want to use the section known as content like that. I'll save that. I'll go back. I'll do a refresh, and now it works. All right. So now when I go to create task, we have a full page component, work, reading, coding, and let us go to edit task. And now we have the H1. This is this is for editing to do. And that is how, guys, you create, you render components both as an inline component or as a full page component, whereby you call the components using the routes. In the next lesson, we are going to see now how to interact with properties, how to initialize them, how to pass data, and make, and to avoid this thing that you see. You see currently when I go to, for example, to create task, the page is reloading. We are going to see how we can be able to convert this even to a single page application. So with that, guys, I hope you have learned something. And as usual, leave a like, subscribe, and until we meet, bye bye.